Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money. With your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 246. Can you believe it? 246 episodes, and we got a wonderful friend of mine, Denise Wakeman, is here. She is quite a globetrotter. Talk about lifestyle business. The last time she was on, we said, oh yeah, you got a lifestyle business. Now it's lifestyle business times 2. Wait till you hear what she's been doing. Bring her on in a minute. Episode 245, if you missed that, it's a special edition called Is College Worth It? Or Is College Really Worth It? And I'm calm about this, but it kind of makes me mad. A lot of the things that colleges and universities are doing to young people. So that's all about ripoffs that are happening in colleges. It was a recording of a webinar I did exposing a lot of the things that colleges do. That was episode 245. If it doesn't apply to you, pass it on to some youth or family that you know is considering college. Now, you should grab a copy of our automation ebook. We sell it for $27, but you get it free for listening to Screw the Commute podcast. You go to screwthecommute.com/automate free, screwthecommute.com/automate free, and it's all kinds of tips and tricks, including cell phone tips and things that have allowed me to handle up to 150,000 subscribers and 40,000 customers without pulling my hair out. You will love this book. So screwthecommute.com/automate free. And while you're at it, go to screwthecommute.com/app. That's APP, and you can grab a copy of our podcast app. And very soon, we're going to have video training on how to use all the cool features. But right this moment, we have screen captures to show you how to use all the fancy features. So you can get that at screwthecommute.com/app. Now, our sponsor is the Internet Marketing Training Center of Virginia. It's a distance learning school. And also, we are starting in-house classes this year. And we're applying right this moment. And I do need some help out there. If anybody knows an accountant that would be willing to do a discounted audit to help out veterans, please let me know right away. We're trying to get the GI Bill going for the school and really help out a lot of veterans. So get in touch with me on that. So that's imtcva.org, and all the stuff we talk about, including Denise's, all her cool stuff, will be in the show notes. This is episode 246, and of course you get to episode 246 by going to screwthecommute.com/ and then the episode number 246. All right, let's bring on the main event. Denise Wakeman works with authors and online entrepreneurs, teaching them how to build and market their online presence and business. Now, in her newest venture as a travel advisor, Denise's passion for adventure, and I'm serious, she's an adventuresome lady, helps inspire entrepreneurs to explore the world so they can think bigger and transform both their business and life. Denise, are you ready to screw the commute?
Absolutely.
How you been there, kiddo? You made it back off the mountaintop, huh?
Yeah, I've been great. Lots has been going on since the last time we talked.
Yeah, it's been about a year. You've made some trips since then, right?
Yes, went to Peru for the 4th time,
Wow.
And I also went to Morocco.
Wow, but weren't you getting ready to climb some kind of mountain when?
Oh, that's right. I was going to Nepal.
Oh, you just forgot about that. Did the thin air get to you or something while you're up there? Did you make it as tall as or high as you wanted to go?
I did not.
Okay, well, not
as a matter of fact.
What percentage of people actually make it? Is this Mount Everest? Is this what it is?
No, we were hiking the Annapurna Range, and our goal was Annapurna Base Camp. And I did not make it to base camp. My travel friend did, but I was having a hard time on that trek. The trails are mostly stairs, like stairs made out of rocks and stuff.
Right.
And so cardio was much harder than just walking on a trail, even uphill.
Oh.
And I fell a couple times, and I was having a hard time.
Did you have to
It
be
just
on
happened.
oxygen?
No, no,
No,
I didn't have
but
to be on oxygen.
but let me ask you this one: would you do it again?
Yes,
Absolutely, right? Just because
absolutely.
you didn't make it, so what? The part of the trip was, I'm sure, just exhilarating. Uh,
Oh, well, being in the Himalayas
hmm
was amazing. It's gorgeous country. And we were trekking for about 10 days, 10 out of 13 days that we were in Nepal, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. It was just, one of those things that was just not perfect for me. And that's okay, because, it upset me for about an hour. I stayed back while my friend continued, and, I had to wait for her for 2 days at a guest house.
no, you didn't have to
But
wait for her.
that's
You
true.
could have left, thumbed your nose out, or
I
something.
could I could have left. But, after it's all a mindset thing. After about an hour of being disappointed that I wasn't gonna be making it up to base camp, I was like, "Okay, well, what kind of adventure can I have while I'm here,
hmm
where I am?" And I ended up meeting some really cool people who were passing through, and, just hung out and really enjoyed being in the Himalayas.
And
It was beautiful.
compare that to sitting in a cubicle somewhere listening to this podcast, wishing you could go anywhere than be in that cubicle. So you
Yeah,
were far ahead of the game.
yeah.
So here's a good naive question for a non-mountain climber. Uh, did you have a good internet connection up there? Or did you even
Not
try?
bad, not
Really?
bad.
Yeah. So you're up
Yeah.
really high. So
Yeah, there were cell towers everywhere.
really.
I was shocked, to be honest. I was not expecting that.
Well,
So,
a lot of
yeah, there
places
was
and
internet.
a lot of countries don't even put in phone lines anymore. They just give
No,
everybody cell phones, right?
exactly. And at every guest house where we stayed overnight, there was Wi-Fi. It wasn't the best,
Did
but
you
it
do a
was
speed
there.
check on any of them?
No, I
Okay.
didn't.
All right. So
But,
you had it anyway.
it was a fight for everybody to recharge their phones. Everybody's like, hovering over the outlet to be able to recharge their phone. But yeah, there
I
was
think I would wear like a solar hat when I was walking up the mountain to
well,
recharge stuff.
people were using solar for
Yeah.
sure.
Crazy. Now, were you blogging and reporting back every day, or you just took off a couple weeks?
Mm. I was posting pictures and short things every few days. I'm mostly on Instagram and Facebook.
hmm
So yeah, I was sharing the journey.
All right.
People love that. People love it. They
Yeah.
love to follow along.
They're living
So
vicariously through you.
yes,
So tell everybody how you turned this into a part of your business, because you've been in business a long time, very
yeah.
successful, but you took us to another level now.
Well, probably I think it was right after I got back from Nepal. When after I travel, it's always so exhilarating, and then I come back home, and that's wonderful too, to see my cat and my family and all that. But it's like,
You
okay,
put your
how
cat in
can I?
front of your family, I noticed.
Yeah.
Don't let them listen to this.
Well, the cat lives with me.
Right. Okay.
um, and every time I travel, I think, how can I do this more? How can I get
hmm
more of this? And I was talking with a colleague who's a business consultant, probably almost as long as I have been, but she's also been a travel agent for the last 3 years. And I was like, what, how do you do that? What are you doing? How did you learn? And we had a long conversation. And at the end of that conversation, I was like, you know what? I can do this. And so I decided to start a company to be a travel advisor. Travel, that's the word for travel agent now, is travel advisor. Um,
Now, is this regulated? Because there's been a lot of stuff saying, oh, you can get a credential and now you're an agent. You get all these FAM tours, familiarization tours for
yeah.
free. Is that, uh,
Okay.
tell us
It's
about that.
the way it works for me. There's different ways you can do it. I signed up under what's called a host agency. So, working under a host agency, that means my insurance is covered. I have access to all their vendor relationships, and they train me too. And for being a total newbie at how plan other people's trips, I know how to do it for myself,
Right.
but it's a whole different thing to do it for other
Yeah.
people. I wanted to have a support network because I work under their licenses and all of that.
Or is this
So, and
like a high class affiliate? I mean, why
uh,
would they put all this effort into you?
well, they take 20%
Yeah,
commission.
there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they train.
Mm-hmm.
They're called host agencies. There's hundreds of them out there. And I did a lot of research and found one that I felt really good about. And they consistently get rated as the top host agency.
Mm-hmm.
And they had better commission structure than a lot of the other ones. A lot of them take more than that. And they have a really good education system that they're constantly educating their agents, and they have lots of really good communication. It's a family company, and so I joined with them and just jumped right in.
All right. Now, is this is
uh,
this a situation they'll take anybody, or you have to apply? I mean, like even Amazon
oh,
now
you have
is,
to apply.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. But I mean, even Amazon now as an affiliate, they get a little bit picky. If you don't sell enough and stuff, you get kicked out and things like that.
Yeah.
So, but can
I
anybody
think
that
they keep an eye on it. Yeah, they keep an eye on it. They have a mentoring program. I mean, all these things are available
Mhm.
to the new agent. So, mentoring program, they have all kinds of trainings that are required to take. You cannot take advantage of some things like fam tours, unless you've had X number of sales or X number of commission.
Yeah, so for everybody
Um,
out there, it's a fam tour is like a free trip, basically familiarization
well,
tour,
yeah,
right?
they're not free anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what it used to be in the old days, but now there's
Yeah,
so many
yeah,
people doing this now that
exactly.
they
Yeah,
don't want to. Hotels and airlines aren't giving away stuff like they used to.
exactly, exactly. And they also do a lot of in-person training. So, like I just was this past January, they're based out of Jacksonville, Florida, and I spent 5 days there doing a boot camp. And I'm going back in May for a 5 day training on luxury products
You mean
and
like
how to
coming
sell
to the
them.
Great Internet Marketing Retreat Center? You mean, right?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, luxury
Exactly.
product. Yeah. So what kind of things do you have? Give us an example of something you learned that you wouldn't have ever dreamed of before you got into this.
Well, I learned that you don't get anything free.
Yeah. Right.
But it's also, it's a lot more complex than I imagined. I've been booking my own trips forever,
Hmm.
but I learned that it's a lot more complex, um, and for one thing, that most agents will not book airfare for their clients anymore because there is no commission on
Right.
airfare.
Right.
So most will not even do it unless they're doing it as a courtesy,
Hmm.
which I booked a lot of airfare because I just wanted to learn how to do it.
Right.
And because I was doing it as a courtesy for some friends and family in the early days, and because I needed to learn how to do this stuff. So that surprised me because I didn't know that. I had never been somebody who would ever think about taking a cruise, but after hearing several vendor presentations about the kinds of packages that they do and the kind of places that they go, I'm like, okay, I'll do one of those. So there's it's the company I'm affiliated with does a lot of cruising, and that's not really my interest. I'm more interested in land tours and adventure travel, the kind of travel I
Well, some
like,
of them
and
have
that it's
climbing
very
walls anyway.
popular. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
and and
But
and some of them you
the
get
thing is,
free lodging during quarantine times.
yeah, exactly. 2 weeks on the
Yeah,
ocean,
really.
right? Yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, so it's the thing is like any business, you want to find your niche and then really specialize in your niche.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm going to be doing. There's thousands of tour companies out there. So to try and know what all of them are about and do and offer and who they're for and what their demographics are could just forget it.
Right,
That's
right.
just not like selling Disney packages is not something I'm going to specialize in.
Well, I mean, are
But
you
I
going to
really
specialize in luxury? Is that what you picked, or what?
well, luxury, off the beaten path kind of
Oh, okay.
travel. Yeah, yeah. So luxury would be small yacht cruising. It would be hiking in Argentina, those kinds
Mm-hmm.
of things. Or lodge to lodge hiking in Argentina, possibly, or things like that that are smaller group, more inclusive in terms of what's offered. You know, to higher
All
end
right, now
clients. It's
is it a is
not
it
Carnival Cruise, for example,
right?
which is a more mass market.
But is it a situation where if you booked like 10 people for a hike in Argentina, you could go for free, or you just get a discount, or
Sometimes,
yeah.
yeah, sometimes, yeah. Every tour company has different incentives,
Mm-hmm.
but yes, the more people you put into a group,
Right.
then you get credit for that, or you can go along for free, or they'll give you other incentives too. There's incentives coming out all the time.
But
I
you
mean,
get
I'm
paid.
bombarded by email.
Yeah, but you get paid for it though too, right?
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. And then the
Yeah.
company takes
You
20%,
get
the
the
host company.
commissions. Yeah. So they take 20, the host company takes 20% of my commissions, which
Mm-hmm.
is very low
Yeah,
compared
that's
to what I was
reasonable.
discovering.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
For all that
And
training and
I'm used exactly. And I have a website with them. I have access to a very good CRM system. I can call the owner of the company on his cell phone if I want to, if
mm-hmm.
I have a problem. So, and they have over 6,000 agents under them.
So
So
how are you
it's
marketing this
well,
podcast?
I haven't been marketing it very much. In the first year, I really didn't market it very much. I was mostly responding to people who saw me talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, the people who I have booked trips for have all been marketing clients, people who
Yeah,
I've
well,
worked
that
with in the past.
makes sense.
It makes
Certainly.
perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they trust me already. They know me. They've been following me. I mean, mostly the first thing in the email says, I've been looking at all your pictures that you post from all your travels, and I want to do what you're doing.
Uh-huh. So what percentage of
So,
your time are you putting into this as opposed to your original business, which is teaching entrepreneurs and so forth?
yeah, right now it's about 20%.
Okay. And
About
what's the
20%.
next big trip you got coming up?
For sure, I'm going to Buenos Aires for a month in November. And that's where I'm going to be, living the laptop lifestyle. I'm just going
Mm-hmm.
to stay put for a month in Buenos Aires and work from there and get to know that city. And I'm also putting together another trip to Peru, a food and wine tour of Peru, because Peru's gastronomy is just exploding off the charts right
Wait a
now.
minute,
I mean,
gastronomy. That sounds like the wine and stuff makes you,
yeah,
gives you gas or
no,
something.
no, it's no, no.
No, that's not it.
Well, Peru for the last several years has been voted the number one foodie destination.
Oh,
Yeah, and so that's that's been a big deal, and people are really interested in exploring that. So, like, some of the top chefs in the world are in Lima, the capital of
mm-hmm.
Peru, and some of the best restaurants their restaurants are being voted among the best in the world. So there's a big demand for that.
Wow.
And I have a friend who has a boutique tour company in Peru, so we're putting together a custom trip that I'll be selling too. So that's a little bit outside of what I'm doing with on one hand, but on the other hand, people are saying, I want to travel with you, Denise. And it's like, okay, well, that's not what I had in mind, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, I was going to say on the Argentina trip, you're going to go down there. Are you going to try to get people to jump on board?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I am.
Now,
I was actually contemplating that today. It's like, okay, what's the offer I can make for that?
yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, this Peru trip, though, so these tour companies, like you said on the Lima trip, you were making a deal with another little boutique company. Do they all trade commissions and work together on stuff?
Well,
these companies?
yes, sometimes. So I'm an agent. I'm not a tour company,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm partnering with the tour company. So we will be, working together to develop it, do the pricing, and then I will be selling it. And so we're going to be splitting the profit on
But that's outside of your other hosting company.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
And you're allowed to
Yeah.
do that kind of stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
pretty interesting. Now,
Because I'm an independent contractor with the hosting company.
Right, okay.
It's my own business
I see.
that I have. Yeah.
So do you get any incentive to bring in other agents?
I can have sub-agents, yes.
Oh, so they're
Yes.
under you. Is it like multi-level marketing stuff?
Well, it's no, not really.
You
It
get
would
a
be my
commission.
business where I have employees, but I would have a little bit of their commission.
I
Yeah.
see. Okay. So
Yeah.
this is pretty cool. So if somebody wanted to get into this, what should they do? Or what if they want
I
to
would
go
say,
drinking in Lima and they want to go take their laptop to Buenos Aires?
okay, in that case, contact me.
There you go. Yeah. Well, they should contact you anyway. Yeah.
That they should, yeah. So globetrotting adventure travel at gmail.com.
And we'll have that in the show note. Globetrotting
Yeah.
adventure travel at gmail.com. Denise Wakeman.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
show your
And
show your
if
interest.
somebody wanted to get into this, I'd be happy to talk to them about how to get started. I mean, I'm not a super pro yet, but I'm definitely farther into it.
Further ahead than all of us, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they want to go to Lima
pretty cool.
or Buenos Aires,
yeah.
when are those coming
I'll
up?
put them on the travel list.
Yeah, when are those coming up?
Buenos Aires is November 2020,
Mm-hmm.
and Lima doesn't have a date yet.
Okay.
So
do you expect it
we're
to
still
be this
working on
year
that.
or next year?
I'm shooting for October of this year so that I make one trip to South America.
I see. There you go. That's smart. So,
but we'll see.
Yeah. So this is a total life. You had a lifestyle business. Now this is, like I said, lifestyle times two, because you're really, I always remember hearing how excited you were about the upcoming trips and all that stuff. So this is a way to make money with it. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. Exactly. And I can still run my other business because everything I do is via internet anyway.
Exactly.
So,
just time zone
not like
differences.
I have to give one up.
Yeah. So even though you're going for a month, you're still going to keep taking care of your clients. You're in the other
absolutely.
business. Yeah. So you're not deserting them for sure. Yeah. So this
and I have a private community that I run, and that's no problem, and then we have tools like Zoom that work all over the world.
That's what we're using right now. So what is for instance, roughly, very roughly, so if you said you're going to Buenos Aires for a month, all right, but somebody else might say, well, I could go for a week, but I can't go for a month. Is that all doable?
Right. Oh, yeah, of course.
And so roughly, what would it cost for a trip like that?
Oh,
very, very roughly, because there's probably different levels of hotels and different packages.
There's everything from hostels to 5-star, and what you choose to do when you're traveling. But I would say
give them a luxury hostel.
A luxury hostel. Yeah. That's about my speed. Luxury hostel.
That's a real niche. You don't see them too often.
Yeah, well, and those are often the more interesting in my view. But you could probably do like a 10-day trip to Argentina or to Buenos Aires for a couple $1,000 plus airfare.
Okay, yeah, there. Yeah, it's not too
And
bad.
airfare, depending on where you live, for me going from the West Coast to Buenos Aires, it's going to be around $1,000.
Hmm.
But from the East Coast of the U.S., it'll probably be 700.
Now, what are some of the countries that are the most cost effective? Like some countries are like super expensive, everything's super expensive, and some
Right.
countries are really cheap for compared to being in the U.S.
Right. Well, a lot of South America is very reasonable. I mean, Peru is definitely not an expensive country to
Hmm.
visit. I was in Morocco in October for 12 days, and that's a very reasonable country too for traveling. It's very popular right now. And you can get really nice places to stay for like, less than $100 a night,
Wow.
which, I mean, we, I did that trip with a partner also, and we took 4 people with us. So that was a an escorted tour, if you will.
Hmm.
And we had a private driver and for the whole time. And anyway, I think you saw the picture of me on the camel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Commented on that. But that was to be on an escorted tour like that. That's not independent travel.
Hmm.
That was about $3,500.
Hmm. So, how much do you worry about security and shot? People getting shot, not shot with a gun, shots.
Oh yeah.
Inoculations and stuff like that. Uh, so, how much is part of your job is that, if any?
Well, I can't make people get shots, but I can advise them,
Right,
and
right.
I
That's
usually
part of
send
what you
people
do.
to. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That and travel insurance,
Hmm.
I think is incredibly important especially when you're traveling outside of the United States, because you don't know what can happen. And in fact, on 2 trips I took, 2 people did have to cancel at last minute because of family emergencies, and because they had listened to me and bought travel insurance, they were able to get full refunds on non-refundable travel.
Oh, okay. Now, what about
You
the
know, they
medical evacuation and stuff? Is that
Yeah,
part of
that's
the
part of
insurance?
your insurance. Absolutely. And if you're going to be trekking anywhere, you have to they won't even take you. A trekking company won't take you without having that
Ah,
insurance.
and is it most of it reputable, the insurance companies? Because you see
Oh, yeah.
some of these companies here, like with home warranties, and then they don't cover anything when the
Oh,
time
no,
comes.
these are the travel insurance companies are that I work with and have, even when I was on my own, or like through
Hmm.
AIG and stuff like that. So, but they have arms that are travel insurance only because it's very specific kind of insurance because it's, temporary insurance,
Yeah, yeah. So,
meaning it's not like, it's just for that trip.
so awesome. Well, this has been we never had anybody talking about this, and it's just a perfect example of I mean, you had skills, lots of skills already, but
Yeah.
you channeled them into a direction to make your life even more interesting to you, rather than making
Yeah.
somebody else rich. That's and
Yeah.
it
And
took you a
I
little
have
while,
the
but
skills to market and all
yeah,
that stuff too.
yeah.
I mean,
So
I'm not jumping in like, um, I mean, I'm jumping in. Obviously, I talk about it to people, and I have people contacting me for quotes and stuff. And I've got people who are traveling right now that I've put their trips together. So, it's happening. I'm just not going full force. I'm just taking it as it comes because I have a lot to learn and I have another business to run.
Well,
And
yeah, yeah, your experience will grow, but I predict that
yeah,
one of these days, it'll be too expensive for you to do the other business
yeah, yes,
because this is exciting, fun.
yeah,
People, have more spendable income and
yeah.
very cool.
That's kind of the idea, to
Hmm.
eventually transition over
Hmm.
out of the marketing and to the travel.
Yeah, that's why I
Absolutely.
wanted to get you on now because I'll never be able to find you uh, after a while.
Hey, there's a big world wide web. You'll
All right.
always be able to find
Okay. All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on. And so give them that website again so they can go check you out, and give them your other websites too, so that they want to see all the stuff you do.
Okay, so my primary website is denisewakeman.com, and that's where you can find me on all social is at Denise Wakeman. And then the travel website is globetrottingadventuretravel.com.
That seems very, very awesome. So thanks a lot. It's good catching up with you, and that's you brought a real
Yeah.
perspective and something that's somebody grabs onto this that can change their whole life. That's for sure.
Oh,
then
absolutely.
and then you got to
Absolutely.
work
You know,
out
you
a
can
little
do
more.
whatever you want.
You got to work out a little more. I don't want to hear you pooping out on the next Himalaya trip.
Oh, I know. That was hard.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Denise. Good talking to you again.
Okay. Thank you, Tom.
All right, everybody. We will catch you all on the next episode. Check out those websites and look into that very, very cool lifestyle business Denise has made. Catch you later.